The Falcon and the Owl. Written by Matty Dalrymple. Narrated by Sarah E. Purdum. Chapter 1. Brian Calvert straightened from his work, then leaned backwards to ease the kink in his back. The Tundra tires on his Cessna 180 had been overdue for replacement, and blowing a tire during a landing at the Clinton County field he used as a landing strip would be a rotten way to start his weekend at the cabin. He glanced at his watch. 9:45. 8 hours bottle to throttle, he said, and tipped back the last 2 inches of his second bottle of beer. That put him right for a 6 o'clock departure the next morning. He had worked the last of the wing jack legs out of its base when he heard the sound of a vehicle approaching fast, then a spray of gravel hitting the side of the hangar as the vehicle came to a halt. He hefted the heavy metal jack leg in his hand and walked quickly to the hangar's window. There wasn't much violent crime in Avondale Township, Pennsylvania, but there was a first time for everything. He looked out the window and saw Hal Burridge climbing unsteadily out of his Honda Ridgeline pickup. "Shit," he muttered under his breath and laid the jackleg on the workbench next to the collection of other tools and equipment he had been using: tire talc, air chuck, pry bar, ratchet wrench. The hangar door banged open and Hal staggered in. Brian was struck by the change the last year had wrought in Hal. He had always been thin, but now he was gaunt, his skin stretched too tight over his cheekbones, but beginning to hang loose at his neck. When Brian had first met Hal, he would have guessed his age a decade too low. Now he looked far older than his 50 years. "What the hell?" Brian said, exasperated. "If you're going to drive drunk, at least drive slow." "What do you care?" Hal's words were slurred. He put a hand out and steadied himself on the doorframe. Brian tried to swallow down his frustration. "Come on, Hal. We've been friends for a long time. Of course I care about what happens to you." He took a step forward and, as he drew closer, he could see tears streaking the older man's cheeks. Hal choked back a sob. "You weren't so worried about our friendship when you—" Brian halted. "When I what?" "When you and Gwen." Hal swiped his hand across his eyes. "Don't make me say it."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?